What is up, soccer citizens? Welcome to Soccer City. Danny Brams here on a Thursday match week. Very excited. It's March Madness, so even though I like to usually rep the crown on this show with my attire, got my TCU Horned Frogs today. They're getting ready to tip off March Madness. They may already be eliminated by the time you watch or listen to this because they are the first game of the men's basketball tournament. But I'll be watching after I get finished recording this episode, so can't wait. Thank you all for joining us. Charlotte FC has a rivalry match against New York Red Bulls coming up here. As we take a quick glance at the table, we see that the Red Bulls are ahead of us in the table. Now, we are not table watching this earlier in the season, but it is just nice to get a picture of where everyone's at. And as you look on the left of this graphic, you'll see a lot of the upcoming fixtures for Charlotte against Nashville, against New York City, or against some of the better teams starting better off in the league this year. So it's not good for ease of schedule, at least anyway. Bradley Wright-Phillips returns to Soccer City. Welcome, BWP, one of our favorites on this show, here to talk about, a former Red Bull, here to talk about the matchup with Red Bulls, and can't thank you enough for coming in. MLS Legend, as we always say when we're lucky enough to have you join us, killing it for Apple TV, as always, rocking and rolling in year 3 now of this contract with the new setup. It's going well. BWP, welcome to Soccer City, baby.
Well, what's up, Danny, man? Thanks for having me again. Appreciate it. I just got to say, TC Horn Frogs, did you say? That's a crazy name.
Yeah. It's actually a lizard. It's not even a frog. It's the
Oh,
logo is the horned frogs, and it's not even a frog. Yeah, so
that's
there you go.
crazy. Good luck to them. Talk to me,
Thanks,
man.
Matt. We're going to need it against Ohio State, and I think Charlotte FC is going to need some luck against New York Red Bulls this weekend. It's a home match, which we like to have, but we have lost to these guys at home before, and it could happen again. They look formidable, and I've heard some fans, I've talked to some friends about this squad and this matchup, and they say it's too bad we're getting these guys now because they're playing pretty well, and they look like a team that might burn up in the summer heat the way they're playing. But as we look at some projected 11s here, I'm not sure this is what the lineups will look like on either side, but it's going to look close to this. We're welcoming Jaquil Marshall-Ruddy, former Charlotte FCer, back to the Bank of America Stadium, and
Yep.
it's a big match. This is a team that I hate, Bradley. I'm on the record of saying this is the team that I consider Charlotte FC's truest rival in the consideration of just
Yeah.
hatred and not geography. Just a team that embarrassed us in our first ever playoff match, team that embarrassed in our first ever U.S. Open Cup run in 2022. It's just, we got a lot of bad blood with these guys.
There's nothing like some genuine hate, when it's
Mm-hmm.
real, when it's built, from the ground up. I like that. I like that you feel like that. I feel like the games have been, more sided to the New York Red Bull. But you're saying they're in great form. And listen, I think we say that because it's a young team, first-time manager, Michael Bradley. So I think people maybe expected less. I will agree with you. They started the season well, played some really good football. But they slipped up against Montreal, and then they started to bounce back a little bit against Toronto. It was a good performance where I think Red Bull should have maybe won. But they didn't. They leave with a point, and it's not easy to go to Toronto and leave with a point. So it will be a tough test for Charlotte. But when you look at Charlotte now, I think I was disappointed last weekend with the result against Inter Miami. I know it's Inter Miami, and everyone thinks they're like the greatest things in sliced bread, but they didn't have Messi. They rotated a little bit, and I know you guys to be really good at home, and I expected a little more bite in the final third from Charlotte, and I think they let one slip because that was the first of 4 home games for Charlotte. You could really climb the table
Mm-hmm.
early in the season.
Yeah, I think that's been kind of the reaction here locally is like, do we be or should we be proud of this draw against Miami
No,
B team, as this it's been said? The club came out of it and said, hey, it's a point. We're going to take a point. John Hayes, my co-host, he's not here today, but he's taken on the mantra of this entire season of learn to love the draw or embrace the draw, and just like Charlotte FC had 2 draws all of last season,
yeah,
and that hurt us. I think some of those were draws that should have been wins and turned into draws, more so than losses that became draws. So we have 2 now on the year thanks to that draw against Miami. And honestly, I don't know what, if I'm honest with myself, Bradley, I would maybe even say I'll take a draw against New York Red Bulls. I want to get wins, but I'm learning to love the draw. And in this situation, if you look at the schedule is so weird for Charlotte coming up here because we got Red Bulls, Nashville, and NYC, some of the hottest teams to start the league, and then we also got Philadelphia, Orlando, and even New England,
yeah.
and teams that are struggling. So it's sort of a mishmash of opponents here, and this is one of the tough ones.
It is one of the tough ones. Red Bull are going to come. I think what they've done well this season is they've put teams in a fast-paced thing, and a lot of teams now want to play with the ball and take their time and build up. And Red Bull are opposite to that. So I think you've got to be prepared for a really fast game. You're going to have to come out of the blocks flying because that's what they're going to want to do, especially not having won the last two games. I think Charlotte, though, as a team, I know you're learning to respect and appreciate the draw. Listen, at the end of the day, at the end of the season, it could be 2 points, two draws that get you the shield. So if you look at it that way, I understand it. But just for me, I put a lot more pressure on the shoulders of Charlotte. I think there's enough in there with a good manager that's coached in the Premier League, the Championship, that can, you know, compete with any team in this league. So when you're playing at home early in the season, I think you should be wanting to win that game.
All right. All right. Thank you for inspiring me. Thanks for challenging me to push and to want more from my club. I do appreciate that. And we do want more. One of the things we want more of is Idan Toklamati. Idan Toklamati, I think he's slow off the mark here in 2026.
Yeah,
Hasn't been invisible, does have the goal, needs to do more, and needs service. Every striker needs service. I'm sure you're going to tell me that like every striker would. But what have you seen? You're a guy who's bragged on Toklamati on this show in years past. Yeah. You've bragged on him on your show on Apple TV. You've talked about how great he is on MLS Countdown, Wrap Up, 360, all of it. What are you seeing from Toklamati? And talk to Charlotte fans right now about Toklamati in 26.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you. I think he's had a slow start. But first of all, I think he's a great talent, got huge potential. When Adjaman left, you guys didn't miss him. And look what Adjaman's doing now in the EFL. He's absolutely tearing it up. And it just shows you how good Toklamati can be. The slow start for me could be a couple of things. Is sometimes you put too much pressure on your shoulders. He probably wants to go in and do so well that maybe he's overthinking things. Remember, I'm on a 360 show, so we don't see 90 minutes. But it looks like he could be overthinking things. And then the second thing is he's built a reputation for himself. Like we've just agreed upon, he's a good player. And I found it hardest when, the season after you've done well, when people start to respect you and know what your strengths are, that's when it gets more difficult. So now he has to find different ways of freeing up himself in the box, getting shots off early, maybe creating more goals for himself. This is what the challenge is going to be for him. And that's the next level for a player that's earned some reputation. Still a big fan of him, though.
It's all about levels for sure, and it's about leveling up. And once you get to a certain level and master it, you got to do more to get better.
Go again. Yep.
I think Toklamati's been fun to watch ever since Ajamong left. Like you said, we're hoping to see Pat in the Premier League next year, one way or another, whether it's with Derby or somebody else, Crystal Palace even maybe. But Toklamati's a guy that if he's gonna take his career, he's a youngster, and he probably has dreams of starring in Charlotte and then going on to European glory. He's got to get busy, because I think that if he had not been able to do what he did last season and replace that production of Ajamong and even surpass it, then I think he would have come in for a lot of stick and a lot of people just hating on him for not being Ajamong. So I think that is around the corner, to be honest. I still think that is a path his career could go down if he doesn't keep up the scoring and get going. He needs service. And he needs the Charlotte offense as a whole to be clicking better. What do you think of the Charlotte entire project on offense? Abada, Zaha, Pep Biel. What are you seeing? Who needs to do better? Who's leading the charge?
I think Pep Biel started sharp. You guys missed him. Was it end of last season? He was injured for a while, right?
Yep. And he
so
didn't.
You guys missed him.
Yeah.
And I think he's already got 2 goals maybe this season, maybe an assist.
Yeah. Yep.
So he started sharp. You want to see more goals from Will?
3 goals.
3 goals. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. You want to see more from Wilfried. I think he's been in and out of games. There's flashes where you see he's brilliant, and there's flashes where, he's a little bit quiet. But again, he's one of the players that the opposition keeps a close eye on. Toklamati as well started slow. I think the potential is there for it to be one of the best attacking groups in the league. I do think, and not just this season, Abada, final product. I think when we talk about Toklamati, he's somebody that could really profit off of Abada's work. His runs in behind, space. He creates space for like forwards, and I just don't think he's had enough in the final third. When Wilfried's not doing it, and Pep's not, Abada's got to show up with more product, because I think that's what lets him down. He's very quick. He's a willing runner. He can dribble well. But at the end of the day, it's just that final play that lets him down for me. He's finishing in front of goal. But like I said, I think the players, the ability's there. It's just it coming together and clicking.
Yeah, I mean, we're watching some highlights now as you talk, Bradley. When we mentioned, disappointment against Miami and the inability to have some bite and take advantage of their rotated side, Abada could have done that. He could have sealed this deal in the first half. He made some nice plays to get behind, great runs in behind.
Just lacks composure.
Yeah,
That's a
lacks
perfect move
composure.
there. Sorry to cut you down, but that's a perfect move. Up to the big man, Toklamati. It's a flick on. You have Abada that is a willing runner, like I said. He times it, gambles, gets on the flick on. Now, when you get in front of goal, just slow down a little bit. I feel like he's always rushing or the setup isn't right. If you look at these touches here, the first one's not bad. Now he's going away from goal. He already had the edge over the defender. If you just stay in front of that defender, he can never get the ball. So now that can help you relax. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And he just doesn't have that final bit of composure in the final third.
Yeah, and it's just I can imagine that ball, that flick on. I was shouting out this flick on when we did our sort of post game show this weekend,
Yeah,
me and John, and I was like, "Man, Toklamati, what a flick on!" And he's like,
yeah.
"Well, it's just a flick on." I was like, "That was so
No, it's
good,"
not.
but
There's an
it's
art
pretty
to that.
nice. That's a juicy ball. Can you imagine just yourself as an attacker running
Uh,
onto that ball in space and just seeing it? Your eyes get wide, but you got to have the
it,
composure.
it's a dream. It's like when I played with a big guy up top or something, yeah, I would gamble off of these flicks. I would know they're going to win it. And then you start to run early, stay on side. And then after that, it's up to you. Can you pause this?
Yep.
If
Let
you
me
can
pause
pause
it
it
real
here,
quick.
right,
Yep.
yeah, right there. Touch. One more, what, a little bit further. Stop. He doesn't have to go off a track, even if it doesn't matter, a little bit back. But he doesn't. He's already got the advantage. You know what I mean? So if he just keeps
Yep.
that ball in front of those defenders, like just straight, it's a goal. Because now he
Yep.
doesn't. Now he's taking it wide. He has to now think about the finish a little bit
That's a
more.
good
If he
touch.
stays
That's
on
a
this
good
track,
touch right
yes,
there.
perfect. Another one like this, they're not catching.
Yeah, he's too short there.
Jack's touch is too short and it's outside of him.
Yep.
These are the things he already has to
He
be
should go
thinking when that
inside
ball's
right here,
flicked.
you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. More straight or inside,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll be all right, and it's a goal.
Yep.
But yeah,
And
those
get
are
it
the
on, at
plays.
least get it on frame, buddy. However you touch it. Yeah, exactly.
I can
I
imagine
think.
Dean Smith going through those kind of plays up to Toklamati. You saw Wilfried on the other side running in behind. That's going to be very difficult to defend.
Yep. And I should say, Brad, you can interrupt me anytime you want. You're the guest here. You're the expert. You're the
No, I don't like
MLS
interrupting.
legend. I'm just a bro. So don't even worry about it. You can always interrupt me. I'm sorry for the times that I interrupt you.
No,
I
you're good.
know I want to talk quickly about Zaha because you've defended him. We did an episode. You can go back. I want this to be one of our most watched episodes, hopefully, like in the history of our YouTube channel, which is Wilfried Zaha, most fouled footballer on earth. I just did sort of like a 10-minute breakdown of
Yeah,
his reaction to being fouled so much. You've heard all the sound bites. I don't need to play him again, but he's got the gaffer on his side. Dean Smith has repeatedly been offered bait by local reporters and tried even to be caught in traps. I would almost say I've probably done it myself of trying to get him to criticize Wilf and say that Wilf needs to show more discipline. But he has consistently taken the player's side and said
yeah.
the league is the ones that need to do better for Zaha, and that's telling to me because I think if that to me is credibility. Like some will say, "Oh, a manager will always back his players," but even a manager, if he's sick of a player's acting, he's going to speak out against it.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened. Clearly, to me, Dean and Wilf are united in this. Where do you stand with how he's getting treated by the league?
No, shout out to Dean Smith. I think that goes a long way in a locker room when players see the coach backing them like that because Wilfried Zaha, he's not making this up. There's stats that show that, yeah, like in the Premier League, he was the most fouled. He's come over here and he's a
Mm-hmm.
target and he gets fouled. I guess he probably looks at other games and sees people getting fouls when as soon as they go down. And when it's him, he feels like he's not getting the same love. What I would say to what surprised me with Wilf is that it's been happening for so it's two things. It's been happening for years, so you'd think he would be used to it and not get so frustrated. But then on the other hand, because it's been happening for years and you're not getting the fouls called, then you're gonna get wound up.
Yeah.
I would advise the people to not be calling for Wilf to calm down and stop moaning all the time. I can side with some of those the critics that yeah, sometimes it doesn't look good. But I promise you, if you take this, and I think I said this last time, if you take this fire out of Wilfried Zaha's belly, you're not gonna get the match winner, Wilfried Zaha. You just won't get it. That's who he is. He's a
Mm-hmm.
player that just is on the edge all the time. And you get him mad, and sometimes maybe that makes him click. When he gets angry, he's like, okay, you don't want to give me fouls. I'm taking on three players and I'm crossing this or I'm shooting, and he gets a goal. So be careful what you wish for. If you want him to be quiet and calm, I don't think you're going to get the same performances out of him.
Yeah, and he knows himself very well. He's very introspective in his interviews, and he said he was kind of just musing to himself the other day, and he's like, when I play with joy and have a lot of happiness, I play really well. But when I play with anger and get riled up, I play pretty well too. So
Exactly.
it's like I just can't be in that middle zone. So
Exactly. He can't go out onto the pitch and just think, oh, okay, didn't get that foul. You're going to lose something in him. So I'll be
yeah.
careful. For me, I just don't want him getting sent off because I enjoy watching him. I know how quick refs over here can give you a yellow card or a red
Mm-hmm.
card. So when I watch him and I see him getting angrier and angrier, I'm just like, Wilf, calm down, because
Yeah.
they could ruin the game and lose points for Charlotte.
Yeah, and Bradley, he's 4 for 4. He has 4 matches played, 4 yellow cards. He's suspended on the next one. We kind of played around with the idea that go out and get the yellow against Red Bulls, so you're suspended for the home match against Philadelphia, who have yet to take a point. You see him all the way down at the bottom of the table. We'd rather have him miss the Philly match, I think, than the Nashville match if we're picking and choosing where that suspension could come. So, beggars maybe can't be choosers. I'm not sure. Really quick, last thing I just want to hit you with is the emergence of Morrison Ajamong on the back line. I don't know how much you've got to see this kid, but he started last match against Miami, really held his own, did give up the own goal 2 matches ago, but didn't kill us. Ended up still getting the win on that game, and he's looked really good. He's looked composed for the most part and bounced back from the own goal situation, and really looks to be that physical, imposing backline presence that Charlotte needs since Malanda skipped town.
Yeah, you needed to replace Malanda. I'm not saying he will, but the little glimpses I've seen of him, looks
he has a shot
very capable. Looks very capable. It looks like he can hold his own in the league. Big, strong boy, he heads it well. The own goal, it's one of those plays that he has to try and defend. He's a little bit unfortunate. What I was looking at for is, does he crumble after this own goal, or does he carry on and play with confidence? And he passed the test. He played with confidence, like you said. You guys got the win, and I think there's a lot more to come from Morrison. He looks good to me, and if Dean Smith trusts him, he's been around a lot of defenders and players all his career, so I trust him.
Yeah, what I look at when I see this heat map of his match against Miami, this is just one match, I get it, but it's just a giant red circle zone of control that he's holding down. Bradley, you're a striker, you're an attacker. How do you feel when a center back sets up that no-go zone and just takes over a giant red area of the pitch and says, you're not allowed to come and play in this area?
It's the worst. There was a few of those players that you played with, and they can match you for speed. They can jump as high as you. They're stronger than you. It's very difficult to get an inch or a yard against those kind of guys. What I do like about him as well, he has a bit of pace, right? And I think if you're playing back there with Tim Ream is good on the ball, but he's getting older, let's be honest. And I think he needs a lot of cover. So if you get some youth, some legs next to him, it could cover up a lot of those cracks.
Yeah, I agree. And Reams can be counted on for leadership, but not always pace at this point. So most definitely. Bradley, it's a pleasure to talk to you always, just because you're such a cool dude. You're an MLS legend. I feel honored that you feel that you can take the time to visit Soccer City. As always, we're a pleasure to have you. We give you the key to the city for sure. Can't wait to keep watching you. Yeah, you've got it. You've got it. Come on by anytime, no doubt. You are the man. I know you've got some Arsenal ties. I'm an Arsenal fan. So since Johnny, the Spurs fan, is not here, we can say, let's go get the quadruple. Come on, you Gunners. And it's for the crown, baby.
Let's go get the quad, and let's hope Spurs get relegated. Can you imagine being an Arsenal fan? We win the league or the quad, and they get relegated. I don't know if I want them relegated, though. I'm not sure. Actually.
The thing about is, I don't want them relegated because I like getting those 2 free wins every year.
That's the point. That's the point. You're right. Let's keep them in the league.
Exactly. Well, it is a pleasure, Bradley. Have fun this weekend calling the action as always, and can't wait to have you back for the crown, baby.
Thanks, mate. Shout out Soccer City.